Setting, the year 2060, a senior home. Former podcast superstars Sarah and Jani are talking about their past glory days. Oh my god, do you remember our early days, the Christmas special? Haha, we actually sang for that one, remember? Last Christmas I gave you my heart.
Oh, that was hilarious. It was so embarrassing actually though. We actually sang on air. That's now there forever and ever. Who thought that was a good idea for a first show? LOL, as they used to say.
I know, but it was so funny though.
No, bad jokes.
I think we showed people how funny we are as people. It was our viewers' first taste of our multi-skilled performances.
Also, we were young back then, and hot and cute, especially you. So people would have forgiven us anything.
Speaking of multi-skilled, our gags, the most Mosaic gags, they are now part of new media history. But when we started it, I think it was so underrated.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think most people didn't really get most of them. We were too clever for the mainstream audience, I think.
Yeah.
And still are, most times. Mega lol.
And the topics.
Oh, the topics. So scandalous. Revenge porn, polygamy, interracial couples.
As per our old slogan, breaking taboos one at a time.
Oh, we were so young back then. So adventurous. Not scared of anything. Just talking about all these things, we just didn't give a damn.
Yeah, like us talking about our own relationship experiences, our insecurities and flaws. We were so honest and open.
Yeah. When we were raw, we were the rock stars of the podcasting scene. We were uncensored, uncut. We were raw and dirty.
We were us, true rock stars. Actually, we didn't give a fuck.
While everyone was busy censoring themselves and trying to please everyone around them, we were the exception. We did our own thing.
And people loved us for it.
We were rejects, outcasts, and we played by our own rules.
We created our own game. We were heroes. Patients Sarah and Jani are asked to come to the infirmary to take their antidepressants and antipsychotic medication. I repeat, patients Sarah and Jani are asked to come to the infirmary to take their antidepressants and antipsychotic medication. Thank you.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah.
Bonjour everyone, this is Most Mosaic and welcome to the most recent episode with me, Jenny, and
Me, Sarah.
Woo! As mentioned in last week's episode, this is the first episode where Sarah and I are actually sitting in the same room and looking at each other. How absolutely brilliant is that? Yeah. No more 1, 2, 3, clap! Oh, did you clap? Sorry, I forgot to clap. Oh, okay, let's do this again.
Yeah, we're actually facing each other and we're like dressed in normal clothes and we're
actually in your pyjamas right now. I am dressed because
Yeah, she had to get dressed to get here. But yeah, we're at my house at the moment. That's our current situ.
In London town.
London.
And the sun is shining and it's the 9th of Sunday, so I think they said it's the hottest day
it is.
Yet of this year.
24 degrees.
And it's well nice. I think this is the kind of hot that I can deal with.
Really?
Like if it gets hotter than this,
it's too much, It's just right now. We've got a little breeze as well. It's pretty chill.
Exactly, yeah. I'm like one of those fake Asians who can't handle sun.
Lol.
I'm literally allergic to sun. Like, I get
really?
rashes and stuff. Like I need
God.
to put so much sunscreen
So
on
how
my
do you
face.
deal with it when you go on holiday?
Just like loads of sunscreen, and obviously I've got hay fever as well. So I'm one of those nerdy little fuckers back at school, like sneezing with glasses on.
Oh my god, you mess.
Yeah, I was so popular.
Oh
you won't believe it. But yeah, so what have you been up to?
Well, not much really. I've been happy with the weather. It's been really nice. I did go and watch Custody the other day, and I'm
Is that a film?
going to do some promo. No, it's basically a theatre production. It's created by Bane Wolf, who I know from a friend of mine, and it was written by Tom Wainwright. So basically, it was about people dying in police custody unlawfully.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a really emotional play. I did cry a few times.
Oh,
well,
did you?
I was about to cry. Well, you know,
I was
get
gonna
really
say.
emotional. But no, even my friend's brother was there, and he doesn't normally cry, and he was getting quite emotional as well. He was like, I was just imagining him like dying, and that really got to me. But yeah, no, it's really interesting. So
it is a really dark subject and heavy subject.
it is, and a lot of people say it's an American problem, but it is an English problem as well, and a lot of people don't really know about that.
Police violence towards minorities.
And people dying in custody. So I'll just read a bit from the leaflet for anyone who's interested in watching it. So it's created by South London performer Obane Heo and veteran writer Tom Wainwright. He did Banksy, The Room and the Elephant. It's a contemporary fictional narrative about the moment another young black man's life is taken from him whilst in custody. It shows the experiences of the families who have suffered from police injustice. And it explores the way young black men are treated by the police in Britain today. And he actually interviewed the families of the victims, which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I went to watch. It was worth watching, and we had like a Q&A with Sean Riggs' sister, who basically her brother died in police custody. So yeah, that was pretty somber. It's a good experience. Yeah, quite somber and sad.
But that's what adults do, right? They go to plays. You've got another thing on Monday, don't you? Another play.
Yeah,
or
the
something?
London Palladium, and I think, well, they haven't revealed who the performers are, but I think it'll be like Little Mix and.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of.
Don't pretend. I was gonna take this route. Oh, you know, you've been doing all the sophisticated stuff like a proper grown-up, and then you throw in Little Mix.
Little Mix, yeah.
That is so funny.
Up my alley. But yeah.
I was yesterday. I went to it was like an open mic stand up. They were doing an Angel at the Angel Comedy Club, and one of my friends was debuting, if you will, one of his sort of his routine, I suppose, which was really funny. Like, we were all worried because he's a funny bloke, and he's just hilarious. And he's Italian, so he has that sort of like
lots of hand gestures.
Yeah, exactly. He's very sort of body gestures and also very crass kind of, not crass humour, but, you know, very Italian European kind of humour. So he's always been like a showman, and he's been a funny man, but doing stand-up is so different to just being funny.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Because you have the pressure of, you know, having to talk in front of strangers, but then also having to be funny in front of strangers.
And having to engage with everyone there. Exactly. And have the eye contact and everything. It's so nerve-wracking. I could not do it.
But he was so good. Like, he had so many moments where, like, it just took us, like, by surprise.
Really?
Yeah.
Had that up his sleeve. You guys didn't know that he was that good, eh?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. But it's not something that just comedians do. Apparently, like, there were like actors there, and he's a scientist as well. He just started it because he wanted to be more confident when doing like presentations and like public speeches. So he just did it basically for self-confidence, and I guess But I could never do that, not in a million years.
I know, me too.
You couldn't pay me to go upstate.
Do you reckon you could if you had a script or something? If you were like well prepared?
I think I could if I had someone with me. Sort of share the pressure, if that makes sense. So even if I have like a brain freeze, which very well might happen because I'm a bit of an idiot, I've got someone to sort of look to who can sort of pull me out of the mud and sort of help me.
Take the pressure off you, definitely.
Exactly, but just me on the stage with that light on me, oh my god, I think I just start crying or something.
I know. So. Do you reckon that men are better comedians than women?
No.
I
think there were two women. They were flipping hilarious.
Really?
They were so good. I mean, if you look at the ratio, it was more men than women, but it's nice to see more women sort of in comedy, because comedy is about real life. So obviously, it's, as a woman, it's nicer for me to consume something that I can relate to.
Yeah, definitely.
And I totally don't agree that men are more funny, or that women are too emotional to be funny.
A lot of people say that, don't they? They say, oh, women aren't as funny because they're just not as crass, or they try too hard, or
they can't take a joke.
Yeah. But no, I went to live at the Apollo like last year or something, and the best comedians there were definitely women. And I don't know if that was maybe because I am a woman, but I went with a man, and he didn't find the women funny. And I was like,
Oh, he didn't?
hilarious, yeah. But yeah, it was things that are kind of relatable to, you know, dating, women and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, been there, done that.
But I think it's, you know, because women consume that as well, consume comedy as well, we need to be represented in that as well.
Yeah.
And I think people are sort of realising that, and you get so many more funny people on media, you know, like Tina Fey and Amy Poehler and Samantha Bee, and over here you've got so many as well. So yeah, hopefully we're going, I mean, we are going in the right direction. So on with today's show, as promised last on the last episode, today is kind of a best of kind of episode where we sort of go through past episodes and just talk about a few highlights that we had, funny moments that we had, certain feedback that we got for some of the episodes, and so for the first episode, do you wanna take it for the first episode and just
is that the Christmas one?
That is indeed the Christmas one.
Ding 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 ding. The Christmas one was more of a musical kind of. It was Jani and Sarah the musical. It was more of a bantery one, and we were kind of getting used to each other, and we were a bit overwhelmed as well. I was certainly like a bit shy and a bit kind of like, when do I start talking? Like, I felt like I had to have a cue to come in.
Yeah.
And then you were interrupting to like compensate
Oh
for
my
that.
god, don't remember. Oh my god, I just forgot about that.
And that was quite funny. But that was
I
literally
was
because...
such a cow.
No, that was because I was like very hesitant to talk, and I didn't know what was going on. I was like, oh my god, and we're getting used to everything.
I mean, I don't want to give excuses, but it was also because there was silence. I was like, okay, I need to fill this.
Yeah.
I don't want there to be any silences, because I wasn't really aware of editing that you can edit out awkward pauses.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, we need to fill this. I need to, if she sort of gets slow talking, I need to jump in there and sort of take the thing. But like when I sort of listened to the raw episode, if you will, like unedited, I was getting so angry at me, because it was literally like you were trying to tell us. I was like, nope, having none of that shit.
My God, yeah,
it's Jenny time.
I know. And you do have quite a loud voice as well, so it's like literally when you see the audio, like the pitch is like sky high. It's so funny. And your claps as well, you're like, boing! Like massive claps. But no, it wouldn't be most Mosaic without Jani, of course, and her loud ass fucking voice. But no, that was our first one. And then also we had like a Trump diatribe that someone said we could get arrested for. Do you remember? Was that
oh
the Christmas
my god,
one?
yeah, because we started talking about Trump, and I was like, oh my god, you should stay away from Trump.
We're like, who would we kill? And then you were like, no, I asked you who would you kill, and you said Trump, and then someone that listened to it was like, you guys can get arrested for that. And we're like, oh god. Everyone knows that it's a joke, so it's ridiculous.
And even if it weren't a joke, we'd have enough support to get through.
Yeah.
Also, the gag. Do you remember the gag? It was, I mean, the rest of the episode was kind of like, I mean, I'm still proud of it because it was like the first episode, so we were like, after months and months of planning and talking about it, finally got it done. But the gag is something that I'm really proud of, specifically your queen. The first time we were just sort of doing like a run through of the gag, and you started putting on the queen. I was like, what the?
Did not expect
where did that come from? You were so eerily good.
Oh, thank you. I don't know where that came from. I don't know. I quite like doing voices. I'm not good at every voice, but yeah, I quite like acting and pretending to be something.
You did do acting in high school, did you, or drama?
On and off, yeah. I went to the Lyric Theatre, did like after school clubs and things like that, but I didn't take it that seriously. But yeah, it was quite fun. It's something I'd like to get into, but now that I'm an adult, I don't have the confidence that I used to have. So
maybe just start with the stand-up classes.
Yeah, or maybe like some famous director might actually listen to our podcast and be like, hey, we need a voice double. Yeah,
you listening?
But yeah, anything else from that podcast that stood out?
The singing, which we should maybe not mention. There was a lot of singing going on. Mariah Carey came.
Yeah, too confident, I think.
It was a good laugh though. I think it helped with the nervousness, because we were literally just having a laugh. There were so many bloopers as well. We were like trying to sing a song, and we just like
we couldn't even get through it. We just had to try like about 3 times, and then
Yeah.
it was hilarious. We couldn't stop laughing.
It was really fun though, like
Yeah.
especially like when you're in that sort of Christmas festive season, you're just having a bloody good laugh. It's just so.
Yeah, you were really excited to record this one. I wasn't as excited, but you were like, yeah, it's like a festive podcast, because we were going to go straight into like a serious, the revenge porn one.
Christmas was not planned.
No, it wasn't, because we were planning to like launch the first one in like November or something, or October, and then the fucking logo took like years. But yeah, no hate there, because it's a lovely logo.
It is a lovely logo. Well done, Shiva.
Thank you.
Who's our designer. But yeah, so the actual first one, the attended first one, revenge porn, turned out to be the second episode.
Yeah.
Which I am so proud of that episode.
Yeah,
I think
me too.
for us too, like it's sort of that's the standard of a good episode, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
yeah,
do you remember when we
far.
did revenge porn though? Like, that bit was so good. Like, we had a good forth and back in that show,
We did.
and we had like amazing stories. And
I think when we were recording that one, we had a lot of adrenaline as well, because we were so like, I don't know, we really were eager to impress for the first one, and we were quite passionate about the topic as well. And we had lots of energy, and yeah, it was a good one. It was definitely one of our best ones.
Definitely, especially
really
that story of the Canadian wedding massacre,
yeah.
if you will.
A
like
few
it
people
got
said a lot
so
about that, yeah.
much response.
did.
For those who missed that episode, go back and listen to it. It's still on SoundCloud. And you can find all the other episodes on our SoundCloud or YouTube account, for that matter. So the story was basically that a jilted ex-boyfriend, if you will, he printed out an intimate picture of him and the bride and put it on everyone's table for all the guests to see, and the bride's family obviously didn't take it well, and long story short, there was a bit of bloodshed, or a lot of bloodshed.
Yeah, that story was horrifying.
It was horrifying. A lot of people were like, oh my god, you totally made that up, there's no way that could happen. And oh my god, that is so crazy. But like, it is 100% true. Like, I know people who are sort of involved with the bride. It's one of those stories that's just sort of like bigger than life, if that makes sense. Like, it's literally out of like a Bollywood film, and it's just.
No, it sounds like something you'd read in like the Daily Mail or something, or the Metro. Just something really scandalous.
Yeah, and like over the top, exaggerated. But yeah, that's what happened. Like, I saw videos and I was like, oh my god. I saw videos of sort of after the bloodshed, if you were like the DJ was filming stuff, and I was like, oh my god, this is not happy days.
Kind of related, but not related. Have you heard of, I think it's called the Romeo Squad? It's like a squad of policemen in India that they've hired to target people that sexually harass women on the street.
Okay.
I've heard of it, I heard of it randomly, like the other day, which I think is a pretty
they're
good
like
thing.
actual police officers, they're qualified, trained police officers.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I know that there's a huge problem with eve-teasing, sexual harassment in India. Just like if you're on the tube, there's like a hand that shouldn't be there.
That's really good that they're looking out for that a lot more.
But I didn't know there was like a destined specific squad for that.
So it's called Anti-Romeo Squad. It was set up to deal with harassment. What? Not for head shavings, beatings and sit-ups. What the hell is this? The purpose of its formation was to protect women from sexual harassment, guard them in public places, but suddenly it began adopting heavy tactics, moral policing, leaving people feeling insecure and fearful. That's not good.
Oh.
In the last 2 weeks of its existence, the group has managed to shame so many people in public, it's not even funny. It has targeted young men and women in parks, colleges, restaurants and markets.
Okay. Have they turned into like a religious group? Because you get a lot of religious, like uber, like those extreme Hindu political groups that sort of go around parks, and like if they see someone holding hands, they literally beat them.
Oh no, that's
They're
awful.
like, you shouldn't be doing this, this is not our culture, we don't do this.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, are you married? There have been cases where couples have been forcefully married.
What?
By these politicians, if you will, these hooligans,
oh my
really.
God.
Because
in the name of what religion?
in the name of culture, tradition and religion.
Oh really?
That you're not supposed to date. It's not Indian or Hindu culture to date, so you can only be seen with another person, with a person of the other gender.
It says that here as well. The up policemen even claim that a boy and a girl can never be friends. So they they conduct searches in crowded areas and randomly question anyone, including groups and people in groups, or in some cases
Questioning is the nice way. Like there are videos on YouTube. Don't do it if you're one of the faint-hearted, but like where they beat the shit out of the kids.
Oh my gosh!
And it's just disgusting. It's genuinely.
Oh my god! And there's a picture here of a man getting his hair shaved off because of he was accused of an interreligious affair. Oh my god, this is too much.
Yeah, there's some messed up shit going on.
But yeah. Anyways, back to
the revenge porn, the revenge porn episode. But yeah, that's sort of like the standout for me of the episode. That was literally the highlight in terms of also like the feedback that we got from friends and family. It was like about that episode. That sort of sticks in mind.
Yeah, it does. They say that it's one of their favourites. And then we also had a bit of like a debate about slut shaming as well.
Oh yeah.
Which I think is something that's quite prevalent and happens a lot and kind of touches the nerve because we're such sluts. No, not at all. But yeah, that was quite interesting. We also had, I think we spoke about celebrity goss as well in that one. Was it that one?
I don't remember.
Was it Drake and J-Lo? But then we didn't. We kind of discontinued that segment, didn't we?
Them boots,
girl.
With Rihanna and J-Lo.
Yeah.
And Drake. I don't know what it is about Drake, man. I think I need to get on him because everyone I know.
Everyone's on him at the moment. On it like a car bonnet.
Everyone if so many girls, so many of my friends, and I'm like, oh, who'd be sort of your cheat code? It's always straight. It's always straight.
Really? Like, I think he's definitely had his glow up recently. Like he went from being dweeb, the dweeb on Degrassi. He was like a teenager in a wheelchair, and he got shot in that. It's like a Canadian soap.
Okay.
And that was like ages ago. And then
he was in it.
Yeah, he was in it. He was actually acting in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he kind of progressed from that to like a softcore rapper that no one really took that seriously to like now like having put on all these this weight, but he's got muscles and he's attractive and he's got these 2 albums that are really successful.
Is it only 2 albums that he's released?
Oh no, these are like the latest ones, like Views and More Life, the last 2 ones that are really, really successful. Kendrick Lamar's really pissed off with him for having ghostwriters and stuff, but he's just jealous, so fuck him.
Lol. Someone clearly has a bias here.
Yeah, he's definitely grown into his looks though. He was not that good looking before.
Some people do that. Yeah.
Some people do that. That's how it works normally, isn't it?
But you know how some people like they look like they're 30 in their teens, but then once they're in their 30s, they look fit.
Yeah,
you're like,
damn boy, where you get them looks from?
So after the revenge porn, we did what was the topic of that one actually?
Was it obsessions?
It was obsessions.
Obsession.
Yes. And I remember the gag. Do you remember the gag? The one with Greg's brain?
Oh yeah, I really enjoyed
that
doing
was
that one.
So fun. It was one. I think it was one of the best gags that
definitely.
We did. Like when you came up with the idea, I was like, yes.
Yeah.
We need to do that.
Crazy person, yeah.
And it just worked so well. Because I think we all have that. We've all sort of experienced that in some form or the other.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, a lot of people are in denial about it, but everyone's been obsessed. Whether it's social media, a person, food, whatever. Everyone's definitely experienced that.
Yeah. Well, we have like that devil voice going, do that naughty thing, do that naughty thing. And they're like, oh, you really shouldn't, because the police.
The police. Oh yeah, those policemen, bloody hell. But yeah.
We're both paranoid. We were just talking about it because we both, well, I don't have it yet, but you know how on the laptops you have your camera?
It's a recent thing.
Sarah's taped hers already. I need to tape mine because my laptop's new, but I need to tape that camera bit because I'm so bloody paranoid.
Yeah. No, it does freak me out a bit, but only recently because can't remember, I was watching something and some person high up had like loads of, it was like CCTV where they were just watching people in front of their laptops and I was like, oh my god, and I just like getting paranoid because I do get changed in front of my laptop a few times. Oh my god, stop
saucy.
Hack my laptop, guys. But yeah, no, I've covered it now.
Yeah, I need to get on that ASAP.
But yeah, I think about that gag, the inspiration came from, I think it was like Requiem for a Dream, just like going inside the mind of like a drug addict, which is like the absolute worst kind of
oh my god, yeah.
you know, this if you go up the scales, it's like being obsessed with drugs is probably like the worst kind of obsession you can have. And I was thinking, okay, let me think of like, you know, getting into the mind of someone who's like addicted to drugs, and what would that sound like, and and yeah, came up with that. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that as well. I feel like our gags kind of go over people's heads a lot. Like, they don't get the credit that they deserve.
They
we have a lot of fun recording them.
Like, in like 10 years time, people will be like, oh my god, this is a work of art. This will be like in museums, I'm telling you, and kids will be like, this used to be made back then.
Oh my god.
But people back then were not evolved enough to get it.
Exactly.
We're the
Da Vinci's of the millennial period. Oh god, he'd be turning in his grave.
Bless him. It was also the episode that we had Aunty-ji.
Oh yes, good old Aunty-ji.
Yeah. I mean, the idea of Aunty-ji, it was somewhat spontaneous, but sort of the idea behind it was to have sort of like an Asian agony aunt.
Yeah.
And for me, because I mean, you know, Sarah does the Queen, you know, she's really good at voices and sort of acting, whereas I'm very, very limited when it comes to that. But one thing that I was somewhat confident in was doing like a South Asian accent. I was like, oh, you know what, that's something that I can do. I can sort of do like an Asian auntie, because I see them and I hear them all the time. And the stuff they say sometimes is just so hilarious, like, and so non-PC. Like, they would literally just
rip you.
Yeah, they be such good stand-up comedians, I'm telling you, like, but the nastiest kind.
Oh, really?
They tell it like it is. So I was like, oh, you know what, that's what I'm gonna go for, and just be like really non-PC and be really crass. I had so much fun doing that voice as well, but I think because it was literally like, what was it, the third episode that we ever did, so we were still sort of early and we were not like super confident. And we did get some feedback that was like, oh my god, that was the worst thing I've ever heard. And I was like,
that's ridiculous.
And it was from someone that was somewhat close to us and who knows us. I was like, oh my god, that was absolute shit. I just ruined the podcast. I just ruined the episode.
I liked Aunty-ji, but it was only one person who said that, and then everyone else thought it was pretty funny.
Afterwards, afterwards, I got some feedback. I was like, oh my god, she's hilarious. The things she says, like my mum would say that, like my auntie would say that stuff. So I've sort of now I'm somewhat fond of her again. But like right after I got that negative feedback, I was like, oh my god, I'm sending her back to North London where she came from. She's never coming back again.
No, I think we should bring her back one day.
Yeah, like there was some feedback that was like, you know what, she was actually funny. We really enjoyed her. So yeah. Who knows what the future brings. She might have a cameo in the future.
Yes, good old Aunty-ji.
What came after Obsession? After Obsession, we did the Fringe Files.
Oh yeah, no, about the... Sorry, just one more thing about Obsessions. So we had a lot of people also asking me about the Nika story. Do you remember? Oh my god! I was actually... person... What? No, that person doesn't know it's on there, thank god. But... Basically, a lot of people have asked me what happened to that person, and they asked me about the details, and they were like, did this person actually live with you? And a lot of people were intrigued, and I think that was the inspiration for this podcast. That's why we were quite excited to record it. But having said that, I don't think it was one of our best ones for some reason. I don't know why. The Obsessions one, I do agree. The back and forth wasn't as good, and I did have quite high expectations for it. But, you know, one day we might revisit the Obsessions topic. Yeah, we might. From a different angle. Yeah, exactly, because you can never say that we've done it all, we've discussed it all. For the next one, we did the Fringe Files, which was also a very spontaneous topic idea, wasn't it? Like, I think I was the one who suggested after listening... your topic. After listening... to an episode of The Infinite Monkey Cage, and I was like, oh my god, this is so interesting. There's so many people who actually believe in like alien life and the extraterrestrial, and we sort of added the supernatural bit on top of that, like all the ghost sightings and tarot card readings. It did turn out quite fun to it was okay. Really cool. I have to say, I don't think I shared the same interest in the topic as you did, which is a shame, but that's how it was. I think people kind of heard that, because I think when were you talking about the alien was it
The alien abduction story.
The alien abduction story, and then it was a bit long-winded, and then people said that I sounded bored, but I was like, yeah, okay. We did include it in the last one, didn't we? Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
No, and also the stuff about the Illuminati as well. I think it's because most people that talk about it, I just roll my eyes when I hear it. I'm like, oh, another nut job, and don't really give it that much thought. And that probably was reflected in the podcast. But yeah.
But I think one of the things about that podcast is, especially talking about sort of the supernatural bit where it comes about ghosts and sort of spirituality and religion, that was one of the first podcasts where we came from completely different standpoints and point of views. Because in the past we talked about revenge porn, we talked about obsessions, and we pretty much had the same opinion that it's bad. And, you know, like, it was very interchangeable, our opinions. Like, it was pretty much the same. But this was the first time where I was like, I do not agree with you. Like, I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in anything supernatural.
But you believe in aliens and I don't. And then...
Well, I don't believe in aliens.
But
I believe
there's life form out
there's
there.
Yeah, some form of life, bacteria kind of life form.
Yeah.
Which brings me to the next thing. Like, this was also the first episode that we had email response from an avid listener who has somewhat of a special interest in the things discussed on your 4th episode, he writes. He also happens to be the graphic designer of the show and also my cousin. So shout out to Shiva. Thanks again for the logo. It was brilliant.
Yeah, it was.
But that doesn't mean that we're going to go nice on you. Because so you disagree that there's any sort of life form. Yeah. I think that there's like sort of like single cell kind of life form.
I did say that. I did say there could be some kind of bacteria or fungus or something. So I'm open to that. But just the fact that there's intelligent life.
Exactly, because this crazy motherfucker, listen to this. He thinks. So I'm just going to read it out because this is gold. But if you're talking about aliens, he says, well, I'm pretty sure all scientists, astrophysicists in particular, would say, given the vastness of space, there has to be aliens. Not sure about that, Shiva. And while I get what you're saying about them maybe maybe looking nothing like us, think about just how big the universe is. It's unfathomable. Yeah, I think we know that. Like the thing about given infinite time, monkeys would write Shakespeare. As difficult as it may seem to accept, it's true. I don't think that's true. I don't think that there are monkeys that... It doesn't matter how much time you give it. I don't think that there are monkeys who can write Shakespeare. That is absolutely... and not in space. What are you thinking? Like, monkeys wearing spacesuits, floating out there, writing Shakespeare. That is so much bullshit.
That's so far
Not just because Shakespeare wrote these things to be played out on stage, which can't happen in space, but also because it's bullshit. It's just so...
Yeah.
But it was hilarious. It was so satisfying, though, to get that feedback.
It was. It was so in-depth, and he literally went through our main topics that we discussed and basically ripped us to shreds. So thanks for that. No, I'm joking. No, it was really good. We do really appreciate it.
Oh my, yeah. It was so... And I was like, oh my God, someone listen to this from beginning to end.
So yeah, he spoke a bit about drugs, the effects of drugs, psychics as well. So he completely doesn't believe in psychics, and he thinks they're all fraudulent.
But which is kind of like he was stripping you there. I was kind of like sitting there. I was like, he ain't talking about me. I don't believe in that shit either.
I know. And then the rest of it is like, aliens. And what else did he talk about?
He talked about sort of drug use at the end, didn't he?
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for that anyways.
We don't agree, but it's still appreciated, and we're looking forward to many more emails like that in the future.
Please guys, if you
from
have
Shiva
anything
and
else,
from anyone else, if you want to rip us into pieces, do that, and we'll rip you back.
We will.
Yeah.
We will. No mercy.
Exactly. We will give as much as we get, so
be prepared, bitches.
And it was also nice because you mentioned earlier that that's one of the reasons why we do this podcast, and it is one of the reasons why we do this. We do want to sort of open a discussion and have people think about certain things, think about some things that they might usually not end up thinking about or talking about. So it was quite nice that Shiva or anyone else really sort of had a moment of, oh, okay, this is what they're talking about. What do I actually think about this?
Yeah.
And sort of, possibly making up their mind. So that was...
I mean, that's the only podcast we got feedback from him
you've been slacking.
Yeah.
Pick it up.
But that's probably something he really cares about. And he's really passionate about.
He's very... Yeah, he is.
So, good on him.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But yeah, I think moving forward with the other like various topics that we choose for our future podcasts, we should probably go for things that are really juicy and we're really passionate about. Like things,
because I think you can tell when you're sort of doing a lukewarm thing, like or a subject that you're sort of lukewarm about. You can tell as an audience that you're not being 100% genuine or not being 100% interested.
Yeah.
And I think that translates. I think it's one of the lessons that we learn. It is a learning progress because we started literally 4 months ago.
Yeah.
I think we were doing bloody well considering.
If I do say so myself. We're not. It's not too bad. I think when we first started off, we just wanted it to be a platform for our banter, but now it's turning into like banter, informative,
exactly,
like having a good time, like a creative kind of thing. It's like it's good.
It is,
and we still don't know what it's going to turn into.
I think we're still sort of finding our voice. I don't know if we'll finally find it. But we're definitely evolving. The idea that we had for the podcast at the beginning, as you say, it was just about laughs, and we didn't really know where to go with this. That has changed completely to what we're doing right now. We were thinking of having 10-minute segments each, and we threw that completely into the water, and I've got a pretty different concept, but
we do. But I think as we move forward, we'll definitely form our identity a lot more and find out what we're actually good at talking about and what doesn't work as well. So exciting times.
I think one of the best things that we stick with, it always worked out whenever we had topics that were quite close to us. I think another example at the beginning was revenge porn. I think the next one was interracial and interreligious relationships.
That was my favourite one.
Because it was just so much fun to research, because we learned things that we didn't know about, but it was also because we do come from...
and also we talk to our friends who most of them have been or are in interracial relationships or interreligious relationships, so that was pretty interesting. It opened up a lot of wounds and a lot of good discussions, which was pretty interesting. But I didn't say this in the last podcast, but we're in the interracial one, but I'm half Italian, half Sudanese, because I realised when I was listening back to it, the listeners probably don't know what my mix actually is. I didn't actually ever mention it. So for anyone who gives a shit, that's what it is.
It came from a very personal space. It was the first one where we went proper personal. We got really deep into it. We had all those feels, and all those hidden thoughts and memories. And we talked about our friends' memories, our friends' experiences, what went wrong, what was good about being in interracial relationships, all the ups and downs, their success stories and their stories of failure. It was nice to sort of hear that. We're doing the research, chat about that with them, and then discuss it on the podcast again. Sort of hearing the feedback. It was really, really satisfying.
People really enjoyed that, and they learnt a lot in relations to colorism and the mulatto.
This is true.
Empire story in Jamaica, so that was quite interesting to talk about. Definitely. Also learned that from one of our listeners that apparently ginger people are attracted to mixed race people. Did not know that.
What?
You were in that conversation as well. That
Right, I remember that comment, which came so out of the blue.
People, but I didn't know that at all. And apparently, who was it? I think you mentioned someone famous who's with a mixed race person.
Michael Fassbender. Is he? He's ginger, isn't he? Michael Fassbender has been dating. He's a ginger as well. Yeah.
That's so random.
But with Michael Fassbender, I remember talking about Michael Fassbender with a friend who's black. She was like, is there someone eerie about him? Because all of his ex-girlfriends are actually people of colour.
Oh, really?
So it was like, I hope he's not fetishizing. I hope it's just whatever. It just worked out that way. Obviously for Harry it is, because he's been dating mostly sort of white girls and the rich sort of royalty, whatever, aristocrats. But they're actually, I'm sure that if you go down to it. Oh, there was another thing. I don't know if you heard about this. This bloke on Twitter a few weeks ago. So Chris Evans, the bloke who plays Captain America.
No.
So apparently he's been dating, or he's been sort of friends with black girls. He's also been dating black girls in the past, or he's with someone now, or whatever. So there was this right wing. Well, it wasn't right wing. He was basically a racist politician. Let's say it like it is. Who actually made the effort of making a collage of Chris Evans with all his black girlfriends and black friends. I was like, oh, this is what happens when you hate your own race.
Oh my
I hate being white, and sort of, this is what happens when the black woman wants to seduce you, like that kind of a tweet.
Yeah.
And Chris Evans was having none of that shit. So he tweeted it back going, oh, it's got nothing to do with hating my own race, it's just about love, you should try it. It's really gratifying, like, which is really sweet response to such a hateful tweet.
That's weird though. I wonder where that comes from when you date like just one race completely. It's mostly to do with your upbringing, isn't it? Like what kind of, if you went to school with loads of black
it's
people,
either
Asian.
that sort of the environment, that sort of who you know, who you're sort of familiar and comfortable with.
Yeah.
Or I would think it is fetishizing. Like that would be a genuine fear of mine if I know that someone I'm dating or someone I'm seeing or I might potentially see has only had like Asian, South Asian girlfriends in the past. I'd be like, hold on, what's this about? There's a lot of black and white going on here.
I know, but it's hard to tell, I guess. But
no. I'm not saying be dismissive of it from the instant. Like you still have to sort of get to know where that person's coming from.
Okay. Let's move on. Also, I want to say that my Jewish accent for the gag was awful. That was one accent that failed. So
that was kind of the tarot card reader doing a cameo. She had a bit of an identity crisis.
It was so bad.
She was unhappy.
The thing is, like, I was trying to do a Jewish New Yorker. So
sort of
like a Manhattan kind of accent, but my American accent is awful. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go towards the like Polish Orthodox Jewish kind of route, and then that failed. So I started I just sounded like a Dimitri / Fatima. It was just like it was so all over the place. But yeah, I need to practice that accent definitely.
Is that something you actually do? Like if you
sort
of see, yeah.
What, on my own at home?
Yeah.
Just like, no, not at all.
Okay.
No. It just like comes out really.
That's really cool. Well, we went from one really personal one to the next one with beauty. The beauty inside.
Beauty standards. So yeah, what do you think about that one?
Obviously we always prepare for each episode. We do have a script and we sort of know what we want to talk about. But after recording it felt good recording the show. But after we sort of wrapped it up, and we had like a quick chat about, what did you think about the podcast? How did you... I realised that it was probably one of the most personal ones. Like, I was revealing so much of myself in that episode, and I didn't plan that.
Yeah, I think I realised that with you when we were listening to it back and we were editing. Your energy kind of dropped at one point, and I could tell it was because it was quite a personal topic to you.
Yeah.
And it kind of hit a nerve at some point.
Yeah.
Do you think that was mainly when you were talking about fat shaming being prevalent in
I think so, because it's... I try to be cool about it, but it is something that really disturbs me. Not just for me, but sort of I do sort of see my younger cousins being subjected to that as well. I'm in the middle of a wedding right now, so you do get a lot of aunts coming in saying hi, and you get stuff like, obviously I've been there have been comments about my figure and my weight, and it's like, oh, you lost weight. And it's something that I realised like 2 years ago, if someone said that, I would have been over the moon. If someone said, oh, you lost weight, which is really sick. Like, it shouldn't be.
No.
So now I just get angry. It's like, you don't have any right to talk about my weight. Like, that is my personal space, and that's my body. And I see younger cousins of mine sitting there who are a bit chubbier, or who are a bit heavier, and it's like, oh, you should tell her what you did because she needs to lose some fucking weight. And I'm like, what the fuck? She's God, like 12. Do not tell a 12-year-old, that she has to lose weight, because she needs to be a child before she needs to be pretty. Like, that is such a... True. So yeah, it did hit a nerve.
And so many people suffer from bulimia and anorexia that, like, you wouldn't believe.
Oh my God,
so many people. It's so common, and a lot of people don't realise that. They just think that, it happens to people who are really insecure and da-da-da. But it's something that even, like, the prettiest of people go through.
Yeah. And we're actually saying that because there was a comment that someone else had lost too much weight, and it was like, so she lost too much weight, you're not happy. She put on weight, you're not happy. Like, what the fuck? Like, you just realise... Exactly. It's just like, you can never please anyone. And before you realise... Some people are lucky enough to realise, you know what, you can't please anyone. just live your life.
Yeah.
But some people are just not,
No, especially for a young person.
strong
And
enough
so
or mature
impressionable,
enough to sort of get to that conclusion, so you just end up wrecking themselves.
Mm.
But yeah, no, it is true. It was like a deeply, deeply
Yeah.
personal one. But I did actually enjoy. Like, I'm happy that came out and that I did say these things.
Yeah.
Because I think it needs to be said. It needs to be discussed. It's, it is one of the reasons why we do this podcast. For it's easy to sort of stand on the sidelines and sort of like, oh, this happened to X Y Z, that happened to X Y Z, and sort of leave yourself out of it.
Yeah. When you sit on the fence, you get crushed, don't you? It's always better to have some kind of opinion.
Yeah.
Definitely. But yeah, no, and it's good for you guys as listeners to see the ugly and the sad as well, rather than just the upbeat and
And there's a lot of pretty going on, a lot of shines.
But yeah, no, we don't always want to show you like the fake bubbly upbeat. It's not like a circus show here. Like, we go through real shit as well. We want you guys to see that, and hopefully it will make us a lot more relatable as well.
The next one, and actually the most recent one, the last one, monogamy versus polygamy.
So someone actually thought that Jani was pro-polygamy and I was pro-monogamy, which, can I just clarify, is not the case at all. It was a jokey debate, okay?
When you told me that, I was literally like, this person is actually crazy. Like, he was not listening, Hoshi.
To be fair, like, we didn't make it that clear, and you joked about it first, and that went over my head as well. I was like, oh, are we really
that's true,
doing this? Or
I think like
really
5 minutes into this, you should have realised that I was
a joke,
literally just joking. Because even the way I was speaking, it was like, I was getting like anti-polygamy because I don't believe
because you were like, oh yeah, you've got a point, yeah, and you would just kind of like stop and think for a bit.
Yeah, and also I had no actual arguments. It was just jokes I had. You had proper arguments. Yeah. Whereas I just tried to sort of weasel my way through. Yeah. And you called me out instantly, and I was like, okay, well.
Oh, where is this going? Yeah, no, it was quite. That was a funny one. I think
that was a funny one.
I think having a debate at the beginning is something we might do for future podcasts. It was quite interesting, and also because the title was monogamy versus polygamy, we were like, okay, well, we need to have some kind of argument or debate to oppose the two. But
people really, really like that.
Yeah, they do.
Because we had in the past, we had that format of sort of 5 and 5.
Yeah.
To introduce to the topic, which is still good, and we won't abandon that concept. But it was nice to sort of have that forth and back thing that we had initially with revenge porn.
Yeah, definitely.
Just like really sort of, well, I don't want to say intellectual debate, but like a intellectual debate, sort of like, we did have a good forth and back. It was mostly jokes, but
it was a lot more relaxed. We had a lot more swearing as well, which I don't know, is it a good thing? Do we swear in real life a lot?
We do.
Yeah, I think we do.
Yeah, the thing about me swearing is so funny because in English I use. There's no word I can't use. Like, I use the C word, and I don't mean cow. Like, I use the C word, but I use that like in a friendly way, if that makes sense. I would never use the C word or any word to harm. To hurt anyone in an aggressive way.
Because apparently people who swear more are more honest, and I've read that in a few articles.
I read that people who swear are more intelligent as well.
Yeah, me too. I've read that as well.
So there you go.
But yeah, experts say those who swear do not filter their language or their stories. But yeah, I do swear quite a lot. Sometimes it's just because you can't really convey the anger or the passion without swearing.
Yeah.
And
and sometimes you're just so angry that you just don't have a control over it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's simply just like, it might be lazy comedy, some might say, but sometimes it is to get a laugh out of it.
Yeah. And if like swearing offends you and you're an adult, then just get over yourself. It's really not a big deal.
How are you going to survive in this world if swearing offends you? Like, what the hell are you going to do with your life? Like, you can hear it in the tube, you can hear it at work, you can hear it in school. Yeah. There's no place that's sort of like anti or swear free. Like,
no.
I'm sure even like Mormons and nuns swear like
under
their
breath,
I mean?
behind closed doors. Fuck you, motherfucker.
But no, it was definitely something that we sort of discussed like when we started the show. Are we going to swear or not? And I think I was quite reluctant to go with the swearing because I wanted to please everyone, which I'm staying away from that thought. I'm moving myself from that
I think
thought.
that's changing for both of us at the moment, isn't it? I mean, I I was more pro being unfiltered, but that was because I'd listened to loads of American podcasts and they're just like the trashiest of the trash. But it's good in a way, but then at other times they just go overboard and I'm like, okay, that's a bit disgusting. Like, not just the swearing, but the topics that they cover as well.
It's just a bit TMI.
Just, yeah, like drinking people's bath water and like...
Oh!
And
God.
like, just like sucking farts out of the Americans are just the worst.
God, what do you listen to, girl? Oh my God. Oh
yeah, they're
man.
just like
If you look up Sarah on Twitter or something,
or
she
look at
looks
my
like the
history.
most innocent girl, and then she listens to stuff like sucking farts.
No, it's just to be honest, it was it was just a comedic kind of sketchy thing between two guys, and like it was like kind of laddie humour, and you know, added to the mix it was American as well, so it was just like completely outrageous, disgusting stuff. So listening to that, but it is a very successful podcast, but not saying that everything that's successful is good quality.
It's good quality, exactly.
But at the same time, I think it's good to just be whatever's authentic, whatever's genuine and comes organically.
Exactly. I think we were trying the early
thing.
stages. We were sort of trying to repress that and sort of like, you know, censor ourselves.
Yeah.
I think in the future we're not going to go overboard. We're not going to swear for the sake of it. But I think if it seems appropriate, and if it's obviously if it's not hateful, which I'm guessing you will never be. Then I think we just stick with it. So yeah, just have this as a disclaimer, like there will be swear words in the future, so if you're sensitive to that, if you're allergic to it, just find some Christian or religious podcast. So ta-da!
See ya. We did also have another avid listener who well, I don't know if he or she actually listens, but they're quite interested in, I don't know, in belly
human
buttons.
anatomy.
Yeah.
Okay, going straight into it.
Specifically belly buttons. So they sent us a few messages on Twitter. So the first one said, trying to find the first one.
What's the name of the user? You can say, I have forgotten, but
so Taylor Swift's belly button.
it's not just any belly button, bro. It's Taylor Swift's belly button. It's the holy grail of belly buttons.
And they basically asked us, they said, would you discuss belly buttons on podcast? And
that was a message, yeah.
Jani replied saying, yeah, you said, absolutely, we don't support anatomical discrimination. We will happily discuss belly buttons, pierced earlobes and balding heads. And then this person will just not let it
Can I just
drop.
say that was a very witty reply? I'm quite proud of that response.
Absolutely, yeah. Balding heads, wow, yeah. Tweeted us again saying, liberate belly buttons, when is your next? And then who has the belly button fluff? Who has the hashtag belly button fluff? And then they tweeted us recently again saying,
Didn't I retweet? Didn't I answer that person back after that one?
I'm not sure. And then it said, when's the hashtag belly button podcast? Yeah. And then with like a shocked emoji.
Yeah, I think we just ignored him after that.
Yeah, we did. But we do actually want to give him something because, you know,
Are you going to
this is
tweet your belly
mostly
button?
Mosaic. No. Just reading a few interesting facts about the belly button. So,
I think we'd more appreciate a pic of your belly button, but okay, go for it.
Yeah, so not today, hun, sorry. But 11 slightly horrifying things you never know about belly buttons.
Oh, here we
So,
go.
number 1, your belly button is one of your very first scars.
True.
Yeah. Didn't actually really... I mean, I know it's true, but I've never thought of it like that as a
No,
scar.
because a scar is something quite negative, isn't it?
Yeah.
I associate it with something negative, whereas...
So, you know when you have an outie, is that when they don't cut the umbilical cord properly? Or
Never what?
when they don't cut when you have an outie?
What's an outie?
Oh my god, Jani, how dare you? Discussing belly buttons without doing your research. An outie is, well, just Google it. It's just, you either have an innie where the belly button's like, it's just inside your belly, and then an outie just sticks out.
Oh!
Yeah, so I'm guessing you have an innie then.
Oh god, this is really sick. Oh my god.
Okay, number 2, our belly buttons are crawling with bacteria. Number 3, belly button piercings take a total of 6 months to a year to heal and should be kept dry and clean to avoid infection.
6 months?
Yeah, 6 months.
Do you have a belly button piercing?
Nope.
Are you planning to get one?
No, I don't think so, no. Number 4, lots of mammals have no belly buttons at all. That's so strange. Imagine if we had no belly button.
How's that possible? How can you not have a belly button at all? Because isn't that where the nutrition...
Yeah, no, I guess so.
I have no idea what belly buttons do, man. I am so ignorant.
No, I guess you're right. It's just where the nutrition goes from the mum to the kid, right?
So how can you have no belly button, or does it just sort of disappear once you sort of get born and it gets cut?
The UCL research explains that all placental mammals, those that were nourished before birth in the mother's uterus, start with the belly button. However, most of these mammals and certain humans have their navels obscured by fur, fade over time, or have.
So if it's humans, it's just like a lot of hair going on down there.
Ew.
Like a happy trail that starts very much
god, I can't even. Oh my god.
Did you look at that? Did you Google that?
No. The picture for number 5 is disgusting. So number 5, you might be more likely to have belly button lint if you're male, older, hairy, and have an innie. Oh, I can't look at this, and it just shows a man like picking his belly button fluff and smelling it.
Are you innie at Aussie? I just googled it. I know what it means.
I'm an innie.
I'm an innie as well.
So speaking of lint, someone actually holds the Guinness World Record for the largest lint collection. I didn't even know that lint was like the official term for belly button fluff.
No, me neither.
Gross.
So what? They just like kept all their fluff from like past few years.
Yeah, I think so. But I just googled the definition and it says it's short, fine fibres which separate from the surface of cloth or yarn during processing. So maybe it's not like anything filthy. Maybe it's literally just, it's not like skin cells or anything. It's probably just fur or like fluff from your clothes. I hope.
Well, but it's still like dust and like, it's just so dirt, isn't it? Like it's and you might you have dead skin cells.
This stuff is like coloured though. Ew. It's like pink.
Okay, let's move on. What's the next
Number
one?
7, gazing at your own navel was once a form of meditation. And ompakolo. I don't even know how to pronounce this. Do you want to give it a try?
Omphaloscepsis.
Yep, that is the technical term for navel gazing.
Navel gazing, what does that mean? You just stare at someone's nipple?
I guess so. Nipple?
Oh no.
You got a nibble on the brain. Number 9, belly button fetishes are a real thing. Yes, we know now. Never knew it was a thing until Taylor Swift's belly button started tweeting us.
I thought you were going to say something else.
Oh god, yeah, until last night. Number 10, you may make cheese from your belly button germs. Gross.
Oh,
gross. That's so disgusting.
That's a wine and cheese night that I would want to be at.
Oh my god.
On point. Let's get a party started.
Oh, gross. And as part of a collaborative project named Self-Made, biologist Christina Agapakis and Odor artist.
Odor, that is such a...
Literally, Odor.
Odor's making cheese.
Teamed up to make 11 cheeses from the bacteria found in armpits, mouths, belly buttons and toes. Gross. Number 11, even the earth has a belly button. Okay, this is ridiculous. Cosmic navel, found in Utah's Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument, is colloquially named the Cosmic Navel. And it's like 200 feet wide. So yeah, so that's the naval news wrapped up for today. Hope we did it justice.
Yeah, and please stop tweeting us about Taylor Swift's belly button. Let's move on to another part of the human anatomy, mate. Or, matrix.
It's not that interesting.
This might catch you a bit off guard. But I think one of the things that why I don't see myself quitting most Mosaic, and if you've got other plans then sorry to say, but you're sticking with this.
Okay.
One of the things I think, it's obviously teamwork, and as you know, teamwork makes the dream work. Mm-hmm. And to be like really, really honest with you here, I'm not entirely sure yet what I bring into this podcast, but like you, like also for the relationship that we have, you're more sort of the emotional, sort of the spiritual person. Like that's sort of, what I bring is I probably raised the minority quota, like brown, check, female, check, German, check, atheist, check, full marks. I got into most Mosaic. But you're sort of like the emotional one, you sort of keep things at bay.
And whereas you're the logical one.
No, well, I don't want to say that, but I'm more, emotionally
detached
and crippled and retarded. Yeah.
No. you can. Yeah. Sometimes you are emotional. You do actually manage to squeeze out some love from that
some
little
love
dried
from
up part of
that
yours.
almost dead heart. Sometimes my heart does thaw, but like I think one of the moments where I realised that most is when we did the beauty episodes, where you asked me whether I have a beauty mantra.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Of course I don't. Who does that? And you were like,
Oh,
I do.
yeah.
And I was like, I was literally like,
No, but it
oh
wasn't
my
really a beauty mantra. It's more about affirmations and
Yeah,
like
but-
having a kind of voice to yourself. That's something that, a lot of people don't get that. Like, they look at me like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's
that
why
was
I
my
don't
first
really-
reaction as well. It was like, what? She's crazy.
I think it's more, rather than seeing it as something spiritual, it's more of a psychological thing where I'm just nicer to myself and less critical, and that's it. It's nothing like beyond that, and it's quite simple, and it's really effective for me, and that's it really.
And I learned that, like, because I mean, I'm still quite critical, I suppose, inadvertently and unwillingly, of people who are a bit emotional, who are a bit spiritual, and I'm like, I do tend to look down on them sometimes. I realised, I noticed. That was my first reaction when you said that as well. I was literally like, oh my gosh, she actually has that, like, what the fuck. But then you sort of, you went on talking how that has such a positive effect on you, on your mental health, and that, it helps you, being nicer to yourself, helps you being nicer to others and so on. And I was like, well, I think she might actually have like figured out.
No way. But yeah, no, I know what you mean. But I think with the affirmation things, it is quite quite a popular thing that a lot of people do. Like, it's not the first time I've heard it. Like, not in my group of people that I talk to, but in terms of like YouTubers and like just I've seen it in documentaries and things like that. Yeah, like people do it quite a lot, and it helps them. But I definitely agree with the emotional thing. I think when I realised that as well was when we were talking about maybe like cheating and flirting in monogamy and polygamy. And I think when it comes to flirting and jealousy, you're a lot more like lenient, and you're not really like hot-blooded in that sense where you're like, okay, I can't deal with flirting, and if my partner was flirting, I think I'd be okay with it, whereas I'm like the complete opposite.
But I think our definition of flirting at the beginning was quite different as well, because your definition of flirting, it is flirting, but that was, to me, that wasn't just simple flirting. Like, to me, flirting is also like, oh, hey, how you doing? You're looking good. But that's okay to me. If that my boyfriend does to someone else that he knows, like, it's fine.
Really?
Whatever. It's like a cheeky banter, like, whatever. Yeah, I'm happy with it. But if he went like, ooh, you're looking sexy, I'ma smash his face in.
Yeah. But even like, oh, you're looking good, you'd be okay with him saying that?
Yeah, would you not?
Saying that now, like, yeah.
Not to
I'm
a
fine with
stranger,
it, yeah.
not that he walks up to a stranger, then he has no business. But if it's like a friend of his, like, say we're going out and he was like, oh wow, Sarah, you look really good tonight.
Oh, right.
If so say your boyfriend and the two of us were out and your boyfriend was like, oh wow, Jani, I don't know.
To you? No, I wouldn't actually mind that. I wouldn't mind that.
See, I don't think that you would. I think
fine.
you tend to think much worse of you than you are. I think in terms of jealousy, we're very on similar level.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. But then there are people who, like, I was talking about this, after the episode, I was talking to another friend who knows that she's silly, being absolutely irrational, but she was saying how she's allowed to flirt with someone, with a guy, but if her boyfriend were to even look at another girl, she would go apeshit.
Oh my god.
But her boyfriend knows that, so he doesn't do it. And she knows that it's not okay, but that's just who she is, and her boyfriend sort of made peace of that.
Oh, fair enough. But that's the thing. Like, that's why I don't like to judge or to say, oh, I don't think I would act like that, because put in that situation with someone that I'm really, really deeply infatuated or in love with, I might act irrationally, because they say that, don't they? When you're in love, you're not really yourself. So. Yeah, I can kind of see that potentially
I think that's another thing about the podcast that I find really nice. It is like a bit like therapy, because you do find out so much about yourself. I really realised how scared I am of relationships.
Yeah.
Like, I've always known that I'm sort of emotionally a bit detached, and not like other people, but not like other people, that sounds strange, but you know what I mean.
No, but I think everyone has their fears, and everyone has their reservations when it comes to getting into relationships, especially going from like that shift of like being single after so
for
long
28
to,
years, and
to,
then
like,
going
in a
like that
relationship,
is
that you're
it is a bit like a holy
scary.
grail, and it's like I've never done it, and it's going to be scary anyways. But now that I sort of, oh, this is how other people do it, and how are they able to do it? I could never do that, and just in theory, like it would work out, but in reality, I might just be like a total regular. It's just these things that you come to realization of who you actually are through this podcast, which is really, really nice.
It is.
as well.
It has been quite cathartic, just talking about everything and getting it off our chest.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, it has been a good experience. It's like two friends talking about things, and
exactly.
it's been good.
I don't know about other podcasters, I don't know about other YouTubers, but we haven't had like massive response or blow up from the podcast. But I think I'm okay with that. I'm not really, I've realised that I'm not really doing it for, you know, I don't want to become the next Lily Singh or the next Ryan Higa. I'm just doing it because it's really fun at the moment. I'm just really enjoying the process of writing the script, doing the recording, editing it. That's something I have so much fun editing this thing.
Yeah.
Which I never thought I would. So yeah, it's just really good fun for us to record, and you know, we hope it obviously be an added bonus if you listeners are having a good time listening to us, and sort of, you know, learning about other people and how they think, how they live.
No, definitely, it's been a lot of fun. It's given me some kind of sense of fulfillment as well, which has been good. And that's something that I was lacking before, just like feeding my creativity, and this has kind of filled up that vacuum in a way, which is good,
because you can get sort of into a rut when you sort of, you know, live in a city like London and do your sort of 9 to 5 and just sort of go to bed watching trash TV on telly.
You know what's funny, I forgot to mention this, but do you remember when you, in the beauty podcast, you said that you had a moustache?
Yeah.
No, I just found that hilarious, like the way you just so casually, you were like, yeah, I've got a moustache. Because like,
why?
I don't know, I just don't know a lot of girls that would just come out and say that just like that, like so frank, like, yeah, I've got a moustache, do you have a moustache? It's a good thing though, because it's like you know, you own it, which is something that I quite like, actually. Like, it's very bold.
Are you falling in love with me?
You wish. Don't give people ammunition, okay? No, I think it's a good thing, but it's very different, because a lot of girls I know are quite girly, and they wouldn't really. It's quite scary saying like, I've got facial hair. Do you know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, a lot of people don't really admit to it.
I guess so, but yeah, maybe it's because I've always grown up amongst like a lot of boys around me. Like, obviously I'm one of 3 children. I've got 2 brothers.
Yeah.
So they know my routine. My brother's married. He's got a wife. He knows her routine.
Yeah.
And like, I've always like lived in an environment where I was like, you know, if I need pads, I'm like, oh Dad, I'm in my period. Can you get me some pads? Like, it's never something like my anatomy, or sort of the way I look, the way my hair spreads. It's never been like a big secret.
Oh, really?
So I've never sort of. Yeah, I've never just been that girl. I mean, you know me, I'm not very girly.
But when it comes to like guys and dating, and say you're on a date, would you say the same thing? Would you say...
If you asked me whether I have a moustache, I'd be like, yeah, but I'm not going to like say it out of the random. By the way, I've got a moustache. Which brand do you use to get rid of your moustache?
The best a man can get. Oh my god.
I don't really have a problem with... Because I think it's healthier if a guy knows that girls don't come out as, you know, that picture perfect Scarlett Johansson type.
Yeah,
like, even Scarlett Johansson probably does have a moustache.
Yeah.
And she does need to wax her legs and shave her armpits. Like, that's what every woman does. Like, no one comes out cleanly shaven with no facial hair, just hair wherever you want it.
Not like Beyonce's song, I Woke Up Like This.
Yeah, we did not wake up like this. Like, we wish we did, but we do not wake up like this.
I woke up like this. No, didn't happen. But
I've never been sort of scared of doing these things. It's interesting that I didn't know that was like...
I think someone might have pointed it out to me, and I was
really? Was it a guy?
Yeah. They were like, oh no, but they found it funny. They're like, oh, Jani mentioned that she has a moustache, and I was like, oh yeah, I guess so. And then I was like, yeah, I guess it is quite funny, because I don't think a lot of my girlfriends would maybe mention it like that. Like, they might to me on the phone, but not on the podcast. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, I need to pluck my beard or whatever, might get my bikini wax done and stuff.
Yeah.
But then publicly, I think own it, it's another story. But yeah, kudos to you, man.
Well done, me.
Well
I'm
done,
super
you.
confident.
You got a moustache and a beard.
I don't have a beard, I just have a moustache, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's time to wrap up the show. It's been really, really good to sort of go back and sort of walk down memory lane.
Yeah, it has been. And hopefully we'll be able to do this in the next 6 months, because we've been podcasting for like 5 months now.
Yeah, we started December on pretty much Christmas Day, around Christmas Day, so yeah.
And we really appreciate you guys listening, if you actually do, and if you've actually got to this point in the podcast, well done.
Well done, you.
But
here's your cookie.
Yeah, we do put a lot of hard work into it, and
Yeah.
we do appreciate people listening. It takes a lot to write the script, do the research, do the editing, and even, you know, having the good back and forth and keeping up the energy for 1 hour. It's not something that
sometimes
is to
2
be
hours.
underestimated. Yeah, and like we used to listen to podcasts and think it was a piece of cake, but it's actually not that easy.
Yeah.
But we have loads of fun doing it, and it doesn't feel like work. So
Yeah, so hopefully you'll have just as much fun, or just half as much fun, listening to us and following us. And you know, if you have any stories, any topics, or you know, any criticism, suggestion, do email us, and we do read the emails, and if you like, we might read them out if it's funny or, you know, worthwhile.
Yeah,
and it might be your moment in
to shine.
Yeah, exactly, your moment to shine.
But yeah, thanks for listening, guys. We really appreciate it. Join us next week when we'll be talking about depression, as we normally do it, so across different cultures, different forms of depression, anxiety, stress, what it's like having depression in cities, and so on. So yeah, feel free to email us at mostmosaic@gmail.com or tweet us at most_mosaic. But yeah, thanks for listening this week, guys.
Yes, also no belly button related tweets, please.
Yeah.
Thanks again for listening, and we will see you in 2 weeks' time.
See you.
Thank you.
Bye.